Welcome back, everybody. Gus got psyched out in that moment.
I did.
I
didn't know we were doing the clap thing
My
because you
fault.
didn't give me a 3, 2, 1. But
My
we
fault,
do have
my
a
fault.
clap,
I was trying to.
and it's only one microphone, so
we're chill.
We only need one person to clap. Really.
That's really true, yeah. But
Yeah.
anyways, yeah. So this is episode 15. You all, thanks for joining us again. We appreciate it a bunch. I'm here with Gus today. Julian was unavailable.
No longer Mr.
this
Producer.
evening. Yep, no longer Mr. Producer.
I'm Mr. Guest now.
He's promoted. He's Mr. Host.
I'm Mr. Guest.
Mr. Guest Host.
Mr. Guest Host.
We're gonna compromise in the middle, but G-Man, welcome back, brother. Episode 2 of you.
It's good to be here, man.
It's good to see you as always, my dog. Talk to me about what's going on in your life, dude. What's going down?
I quit working out.
You quit working out? Why?
It hurts. No, I'm just kidding. I hit a 210-pound bench press. And it did hurt, man. I didn't like it.
Yeah.
I didn't like it. You know, it took a lot of pain to get there. So, which is why I'm going to quit the gym.
Yeah.
I'm giving up.
Yeah.
You at home, you should give up too.
Yeah. Everyone quit on your dreams.
Everyone quit on your dreams. Just go see the Superman movie and open up Pokemon cards, which is what we've been doing.
This is
for
actually
the past.
outside of the gym and work or anything else. That's exclusively
we have
what
been.
we've been
This is
doing.
our most soy era. This is our most.
Honestly, I just feel like this is like our boyfriend arc, you know what I mean? Like an unproblematic boyfriend arc for both of us. You know what I mean? Like your long distance with your lady, and then like mine like is obviously here, but like still just like, you know, I'm just a loyal dude who's got like
Who just likes Pokemon.
Who just likes nerd shit, you know what I mean?
That's
like,
true.
You don't gotta worry about me ever cheating, because
That's
like
true.
I'll just be playing Pokemon in my room, or like watching Superman, or like just doing nerd stuff. Like that really is just me.
We saw the Superman movie.
We did see the Superman movie. Talk to me about that, G. What are your first thoughts? What do you want to talk to people about?
It's a fine movie.
Yeah.
It's a decent little flick.
Yeah.
It wasn't like, oh my god, this is gonna change.
Yeah.
The superhero movies are saved.
Yeah.
We're peak again. No, but it was a decent little flick.
Yeah.
I did like it.
I thought it was a strong start for a DC universe, like comparatively speaking.
Yeah, compared to like the last 10 years that have been trying to start the.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like with this movie, at the very least, the rubber has finally hit the road.
I agree with that.
This is like an actual good like jumping off point for a franchise.
Yeah.
I'm a little worried about the movies that they have planned after this.
Yeah, it's an interesting lineup of movies.
'Cause
I could see Supergirl doing well, but there's a couple outside of that where I'm a little like,
yeah,
ooh.
I'm honestly, I kind of want to see what's gonna happen because I feel like some projects are gonna get scrapped. Warner Bros is notorious for scrapping projects.
Yeah.
Have you ever heard about the Batgirl movie that got scrapped?
Yeah, that was crazy.
Which
they had
was
the movie
huge.
done.
Yeah, no.
Like, it was completed. That was I remember hearing that.
Yeah, no. Warner Bros scraps everything. They won't even keep shows on their streaming services anymore.
I've noticed that.
You remember
recently.
Infinity Train? That
Yeah.
one show? They don't even have Adventure Time on HBO Max anymore. Like,
no, I know. They just.
which is insane. Where can you even watch it anymore? I guess.
I think you have to buy it on Amazon now or through
Yeah,
iTunes. Like
something like
I really
that.
don't know if anyone's picked that up.
Which is why you should pirate. Ladies and gentlemen, never pay for anything because
art should be free.
well, not even that. Like, if
Break down all societal norms. Money is not real.
how much was it really costing the servers, like, to host Adventure Time, which is arguably like a huge show?
I have no idea.
know what I
I'm not
mean?
the guy to ask that question to.
Like, anybody our age would look at HBO Max and think, oh, Adventure Time is on this? Sweet.
Yeah.
Regular show? Sweet.
Yeah.
Like, sign me up. And then it's just not there.
Yeah.
Which is that's just crazy to me.
Well, it's just kind of interesting seeing like things from our childhood now kind of disappearing. You know what I mean?
Everything.
Or like changing drastically. Like I think
Yeah.
we've even talked about this with like with Pokemon cards. Like, you know what I mean? Like we go and look for them now, and like we've gotten some stuff, but like, you know,
It's harder to find them now. Like, you
Yeah.
have to go to a card store to find them.
100%.
Because
Yeah.
it's harder to like actually locate.
Yeah.
Like, Pokemon cards are just a normal store now because everybody's like waiting outside at like GameStop.
Yeah,
and
they're
shit.
getting scalped and everything.
Yeah.
Like I remember, like when we were kids, like, you know, we would go to Target and, you know, there's the card aisle, and like you could always find at least something.
Yeah, you
know
could
what I mean?
always get a Pokemon card.
Yeah,
like at least a little package.
Yeah, well, I mean, they
Right.
used to just sell the little packs, like going into the aisles. Remember, like on the
Yeah, no,
shelves,
like that was.
they would just have one that you could just pull off right there.
Yeah, I
So-
was thinking about this earlier today.
Yeah.
Everything that we like and appreciate, it was all based off of something like 10 years ago. Like, think about it.
Yeah, no, this is so funny that you're talking about this. I literally just had this realization today.
Because I keep seeing, like, these things called Labubu's, right?
Yeah,
and
I knew you were gonna work this.
I had to work it in because I'm not actually gonna talk about what Labubus are. They're these dumb little dolls, right? But they're these dumb little dolls that you can't really do anything with. You just have them. They're just these neat little collectibles, and they're being sold for like insane prices. You know what I mean? Yeah, no, and it's not even like a Pokemon card where it's like if I buy one, A, it might appreciate in value, or B, I have a sick ass card that I can use to play the actual game with.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Literally, its sole purpose is for collection.
It's peak consumerism in my opinion, because there isn't even like a function to a Labubu other than like this weird kind of like status symbol. Like everything we like and appreciate, it was all based in something 10 years ago, right?
Right.
Why is this new Superman movie being made? Because 11 years ago, Guardians of the Galaxy was a great movie, and then everybody just decided that James Gunn is really good at making superhero movies. You know what I mean?
Which I mean is like, I will give him this. You can watch most of the James Gunn movies. His superhero ones are
a lot of the superhero movies are definitely better than most, but most superhero movies aren't that good.
Yeah, I mean that's just kind of
it's the video game movies and superhero movies.
Yeah,
spotty track record all around.
Yeah, no, but it's funny that you mentioned though the like that concept of like things that we liked when we were like 12, or what you then kind of like when you're an adult. Like, you know,
I don't even think it's like we like it. I feel like we like these things as adults because we have to. Because I feel like pop culture is just kind of stagnated since 2020.
Huh.
Do you know what I mean?
Explain that more to me though. Like, why do you feel like
there
it's
has never been? I mean, let's look at something significant, right? The 2016 XXL Freshman Cypher. No. Why is that always referenced?
No,
because it was the best one.
I'm laughing because it's like funny to like have this conversation, but like.
And now we've got Ian with like 5 guys just snapping in the background, going, and he's not even rhyming anything. You know what I mean?
No.
Like, it's like our culture has done this. Like, it's gone down. Like it's everything has gotten worse. You're not crazy. Like,
I think it's also kind of interesting too because I think about it at times and I'm like. Okay, so like our cousins obviously are much younger than us. Like they're in like their high school era now of like discovering that type of stuff. So like I wonder for them like what's like 2016 music to them. You know what I mean?
There's nothing. Like their 2016 music is like our 2016 music. No, they're like
will they have something like that though? That's what I ask myself.
No,
I'm like, or like if they do, like. What is it? Because I'm looking at most of the stuff and I'm like, this is garbage.
They have like brain rot, like TikTok brain rot. Like it's just, I feel so bad for Gen Alpha because they've just inherited like the worst aspects of our culture. First of all, there's less of them, right? Remember how we had like even still like there were kids like who we grew up in school with. They would go home to an empty neighborhood with no kids, right?
Yeah.
Like we were very blessed in that sense because we could go outside. And there were other families, like, in our neighborhood. There were kids that would go to school and go home, and there would be no kids around them.
It was more, like, odd in our neighborhood to not have a kid in a house in that, like, neighborhood. You know what I mean? Just because everyone had kids. Like, you know, and that ranged, obviously. But, like, you know, it was a family neighborhood. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but for a lot of people, they would go home to a neighborhood with, like, all old people and, like, no kids, right?
Yeah, which is crazy to think
about. That's crazy. And imagine, so that's an exponential effect, right? Like, obviously, people are having less kids now. Imagine somebody in Gen Alpha. That's every single kid until they get to school.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's crazy.
Yeah.
And so, like, I feel bad for them because they've inherited, like, the worst aspects of our culture. Everything that they're watching, we watched when we were kids, right?
Right.
I mean, one of our cousins, like, are any of them watching any new Disney movies, or are they all watching Frozen?
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Or are they all watching like? I mean, because we grew up even when we were like babies. You know what I mean? Yeah. We had like arguably like peak Pixar movies.
I think that pendulum's about to swing back though.
I don't think so.
I think I will. Maybe not in everything, but I think in certain aspects of our culture, I think some things are going to come back. Because like, okay. This is kind of funny, but like think about Shane Gillis right now. Like, why is like Shane Gillis like popular? I think part of the reason is one, because he is very funny and he's good at his job, but like two is because like
a lot of comedians are pretty crap as well, right?
Well, they've been so afraid to like say something that's like offensive to other people because there's been such like a large. How do I say this? Like, cancel culture has been so pervasive for multiple years now, to where like all these comedians were scared of being like, I'm gonna lose my income if I keep like saying jokes that I used to. You know what I mean? Because like there'd be comedians who just be chilling at their house one day on a Thursday, and all of a sudden they're canceled because someone pulled up a tweet from 2002.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Happened to James Gunn.
You know, I mean, like, yeah, exactly. Like, there's so many people like that happen to, and I think now though people are kind of coming back and realize it's like we went so far down this rabbit hole that we've killed a lot of good things that we used to have because we are now watching all these old movies or we're watching all these old comedy sketches and we're like, damn, this is just better. And it's like, why was this better? It's like, oh, because we were way like too harsh on the idea of like that we need to protect people's feelings. You know what I mean? Like, comedy is, from the root of it, has always been meant to challenge. You know what I mean? To challenge narratives. Like the jester in old English days was meant to challenge the king. And say things that nobody else could say to the king and check him. And it worked. Like, not always, because obviously there was wars and people have egos, but like, you know, like, think about like if we didn't have that in our society, like that would cause a lot of problems.
I feel like, I don't know, I feel like I'm looking at like the whole like the exponential effect of all that, if that makes sense. Like, obviously Shane Gillis is like a bright star in the night sky, you know what I mean? There's not a lot of him. There are not a lot of like
I think they're coming back though, is what I'm trying to say. I don't
think so. I feel bad. I want to circle back to this. I feel bad for Gen Alpha because like, and I also feel bad for Gen Z as well. I saw a post. I think I saw it through a video. The post was originally put on Reddit, and then it was put on X, right? Twitter.
Right.
And it was like this Gen Z kid asking, like, on the Gen X subreddit or whatever, like, I mean, we've all seen movies where people have, like, house parties, right? Like, the big blowout batch. It was, like, from, I don't know, 1970 to, like, 2010 was the cutoff, right?
Yeah.
And you'd see, like, ragers, right? Like, not like a, college party where you have to pay, like, $50 to get in if you're a guy.
Like, for a frat party.
Yeah. No, it's like somebody you know, their parents are gone, and they're throwing a rager.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Most people we know never have been to a rager, right? Yeah. They've never been to a party like that. They've never been in a social situation like that. And this person asked, like, is this even real? Like, was this a real thing that happened? And everybody in the subreddit was like, yeah, no, every weekend there'd basically be like a big blowout party because somebody's parents were away.
Yeah, and everyone flooded to it.
And everyone like flooded to it. And like, and now people are going to counter this with like, oh, all those parties were degen. They, you know, encouraged all these bad habits and everything. But like, to me, that's like prime socialization. You know what I mean? Like,
well, I think like, I agree with you on that part because, like, look at what happened during COVID. Like, you know how many people were, like, socially stunted by that?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, your year got it pretty bad because you were in middle of high school and all of a sudden you were ripped out. Like, I feel bad for all the kids that were in middle school during that time because, like, you could see gaps in their socialization skills. Like, they weren't ready for it. Or even, like, early high school as well. Like, they lost, like, critical development time. And so they're coming in as, like, sophomores and, like, still have the toolbox of like when they were in 8th grade.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, and like they haven't developed that. And so like I feel like I've seen so many people nowadays like who are socially stunted. Like I even think like if you really want to go for a stretch, like there's part of my group that's socially stunted. You know what I mean?
I feel like I was socially stunted. Like
100%.
But even before COVID was just an accelerant, I feel like, of what was already happening.
Yeah.
Which is like atomization. You know what I mean?
Talk to me about that. What do you mean?
Atomization. So I brought up the point before where it's like there'll be like one Gen Alpha kid in an entire neighborhood.
Right.
And they'll be the only one. And they'll just be like doing something like shooting hoops alone, right? Or something like that. Like if you ever see them outside even. You know what I mean? And I feel like our generation especially missed out on some of those like key socialization events, not because of COVID, but because of like just a changing social landscape overall. Obviously we grew up with the internet, right?
Right.
And people will blame that and be like, oh, well, kids don't want to go outside anymore and go to these ragers because of the internet, right? And obviously that's a truth, right? Because obviously nobody wants to be recorded at a party doing some dumb shit, you know what I mean? Obviously it's way easier to get away with that, you know, in 2005 or whatever, when not everybody has a smartphone or a camera.
Yeah, you know, I mean, the worst thing that was coming out was someone's, like, shitty Nokia photo.
Yeah, no.
You know what I mean? So, yeah, it's fun to do that. We have our other host here today. He's doing a pop-by. He's currently unwell. He has, Julian, what are you sick with? What are we saying?
I just do too much shit, bro. I'm just,
he went to the gym. It hurts. He's going to bed.
Working out hurts. We're all quitting the gym.
Yeah, we all
tore
are.
my left uterine muscle.
Yeah.
That's how it goes.
Yeah.
What you guys talking about?
We're talking about how our generation was very atomized and how, like, we don't even know about, like ragers, like, parties, like, in high school and shit. You know what I mean?
Like, that's fair.
Because, like, I mean,
a lot of it's pop culture based on how pop culture's changing.
Yeah, somebody on like Reddit, right, asked like Gen Xers, like, oh, did you guys even have like these parties that are portrayed in like movies and stuff? Like, you've seen Roger Rules, right?
Yeah.
Like, you know that rager that they throw?
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's like you never had that as a teen, I bet. You never went to a party like that.
I didn't have friends. So like,
but it's a common experience. Max and I never went to a rager.
I will say
I went to ragers in college, not in high school.
After high school, like that summer between high school and college, ragers.
Yeah.
But in high school, nah. Well, like everybody had parents that like cared.
Yeah,
that was.
But that's the problem. That's another problem I'm getting into. Helicopter parenting also changed the landscape like crazy, because when your son has a phone and you can track him 24/7, obviously a parent's gonna do that. You know what I mean?
Oh my god, I can go. I mean,
you know what, Mom? For you, y'all finish the pod. All right. I'm not gonna say anything about no helicopter parent. Y'all have fun.
Yeah, appreciate it.
Good to see y'all.
I don't feel like Mom was a helicopter parent overall.
I don't feel like any of our parents were like that bad.
But I will say,
but like our phones did get tracked.
Well,
you know what
I'm
mean?
saying.
Like,
that's
our phones.
Like that's such an interesting concept.
You
to
can't
think
even
about.
like you can't. We could not get away with anything as kids, which kind of caused us to miss out on key socialization events, like a high school party where somebody's parents are gone and people are drinking, and they're these adult things. I bet you didn't even feel like an adult till you got to college.
I would definitely agree with that. Yeah, like
and
I felt like I didn't feel underdeveloped. Like I felt like I had experiences that like helped me mature in ways that like really pushed me to be like emotionally intelligent. But that was also a lot of it was my choice. You know what I mean? A lot of it was like just personally me as well. But like with that though, like there was that stuff of kind of like. There's a lot of rebellion that I feel like I totally pushed to the side, like up until like I did kind of come out here.
Well, because like, you couldn't get away with anything.
100%,
you couldn't do anything. Like
you couldn't either.
How do you rebel against a system where like if you try, you're just gonna be in trouble all of the time? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's what helicopter parenting, forced a lot of people into. Yeah. It forced a lot of people into this very like, oh, I can't go out or otherwise I'm gonna get caught by my parents. I never was at a sleepover as a kid. I never went to one sleepover.
Yeah, I did. And like I like, but like kind of like what Julian was saying. Like I didn't have any like crazy close friends where it was like awesome.
But those are like key socialization events that most kids missed out on. You know what I mean?
I do agree.
Like most kids didn't have a group to go to a party with. They couldn't go to a rager. They couldn't go to a sleepover. And it's like, I think the internet was a side effect of that. Where if we could go to these social events and we could be in more social environments and we weren't being watched all the time, then we probably would have been better socialized. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah, look at the stories that Dad told us from when he was a kid. He got to just go and his parents had a rough idea of where he was, but he could go out all day.
I don't fully agree with that, right?
I'm not saying I fully agree with that. I am just saying the truth of what it was though. And the truth of that is like he would go, all right, I'm leaving. They're like, cool, we'll be home by this time. Okay, cool. And he could, like, literally just go anywhere he wanted to. And, like, especially then when he got a license, too, he could go do all this, like, stuff. You know what I mean? Like, there was a lot of things.
When I got my license,
so much different.
I was only going to my job.
Yeah.
Like, that's how, I think, and it's kind of sad when you look back at it like that. Like, we almost obviously there are kids that are like dying in wars and shit, and this is very much a first world problem.
Yeah,
but like
that is important.
But it's hard to exist, in a world full of old people who have these social experiences and aren't like, aware of how like society is changing at large.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, and this gets to my main point. What the fuck is Gen Alpha gonna grow up with? You know what I mean? Like zero, because I still had friends, I still had all this, but like, is their key socialization just gonna be like school and like the internet? You know what I mean?
I think that's already what it is. You know what I mean? Like,
God.
we're looking at kids who like are 12 years old and have TikToks. You know what I mean? And like,
but that's not even. But then you're getting back to like the internet. These kids are in neighborhoods without another child near them.
That's not. No. I hear that point. I'm just saying though, like I'm agreeing with you on the socialization being on the internet because like you know what I mean. Like you're seeing these people like put themselves out there at such like a young age. You know what I mean? And I like people will be like, oh yeah, well we had YouTube. Like you know what I mean? Like there was.
But that's not the same. I don't even think YouTube is like. It wasn't even parasocial till like 2020.
Yeah.
There was very much an audience YouTuber separation. I thought like
sure.
I would watch a YouTuber and be like, oh, this guy's funny and cool. I'm gonna watch his stuff, and that's it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that was it. There wasn't like a huge interaction with the person. You know.
Obviously, you had comments and like you could, say something directly to him, and there was that. But like, I don't know, man. I just think I hate that Gen Alpha is just getting like the scraps of like what was once like fun and cool and
I think the biggest problem with all of it is like, okay, so you take away a lot of physical experience for these young kids, right? Which was like, I'm not saying we were like the best generation for that, but like there's a lot of things that you and I personally can tie back to of like we spent a lot of time outside, like there was a lot of rules in place about how much access we had like to the internet and just even screen time in general, which like when I was a kid I was like, oh man, this is super strict, but like now I look back on it, I'm like, that was such a blessing because it taught me that I really don't want to be like on my phone or like in front of a TV all the time. Like it taught me to go like chase experiences because that's what's most meaningful. But like like what you're saying, like with these kids, it's like you're taking like the population will decrease. There will naturally be a smaller network of kids around each other. And their main thing that they're going to go to is the internet because that's what's the most prominent now. And I think what I find is the craziest part about that is because like, we watch all this stuff all the time where I'm looking at it and I'm like, that's insane. You know what I mean? Like, obviously just all the crazy videos that now exist on the internet just because of the amount of time it's existed. But also too with that, it's like, you have all these influencers and things like that that are telling you how to live all the time. And instead of like building that experience for yourself, like organically, like you have a lot of people being like, this is how you should do it. This is the blueprint for all this.
Yeah.
And it's not like authentic anymore. So like, I really feel like, I guess I just ask like now I'm like, even for our generation, it's like, what's going to be real?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I don't think like, I don't even know. I mean, I feel like, to get back to our childhood, I was definitely way more on the internet than you were, right?
Yeah, 100%.
And that definitely,
I was off.
that didn't come, for me, that wasn't coming from a place of like, oh, I just want to be on the internet and playing video games all the time, right?
Yeah.
I feel like if I had like a healthier, as soon as I did get a healthier social circle in like my senior year of high school, I was on the internet way less.
Yeah,
I was doing a lot, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But when I didn't have that, when all I had were like friends that didn't want to go anywhere and just play video games and hang out at school and like, all that stuff, I like, like what is a brother to do, Like,
it's
like I just, the internet isn't a choice. It's like either gaming, internet, or I'm like just sitting down doing nothing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, there's that, or like you get those experiences of those kids. It's like, maybe they have done a lot of physical stuff, like you know what I mean. Like they're outside and everything, but they're isolated. You know what I mean? So like they have like they have all like that cool experience, but like they have no social skills with that. Like so they're just like, I'm not gonna say like they're social rejects or anything like that. Like obviously they're very interesting individuals, but like there is a part that's lacking too. There's things that are just naturally not going to be the same as like the stuff that we had. And so I think that part is really interesting for me. I think there's a lot of stuff that's happening in pop culture and just like the way that the world is working that I find like interesting, but also I ask the question a lot of like, should I be concerned? Like, is the pendulum swinging or like, is it not? Like, or is it just temporary right now? Like, it's like looks like it's about to be on that trajectory, but it's just gonna fall back. Like, I don't know.
I think if you want like some cope, I would say I think this is a sign that like you probably aren't going to be allotted a lot of the the things previous generations had, which is probably going to make you discover more about yourself and focus. Like, I mean, why has the gym become a huge thing? Because people are like, I didn't party, I didn't do anything, I don't have anything to do. You know what I mean? I might as well work on myself. I might as well, which could also be very isolating as well. You know what I mean? And you become more self-centered in that, but at least you're doing something productive. You know what I mean? Like, oh man, but this is, I mean, why don't you think they make kids shows anymore? Because there are no fucking kids, you know what I mean? Like, there's just genuinely, like, the viewer base of all this stuff is, like,
that
non-existent.
Yeah, there's that, and I just don't feel like that many, like, people care anymore. Because, like, the content's not as good anymore. Like, the originality of everything. Like, Julie and I have talked about that a lot. Like, it feels like nothing original has come out in a long time. Like, I feel like, except for, like, I think both him and I haven't seen it yet, but, like, I feel like the reason Sinners was so big was because it was like,
I have a lot to say about Sinners.
I know you do because you're a harsh movie critic, but just like us, like all actual like things that you like about that movie aside, like it was different from a lot of things that have come out recently.
The crazy thing is that like everybody was positing that though as an original movie, right? I'm not saying I like Sinners. It's a good movie. I enjoyed it. I watched it again, liked it a lot again. A lot of the plot is based around a movie from the 1990s called From Dusk Till Dawn. Yeah. You know what I mean? It's like a lot of plot beats from that movie are taken and repurposed into this movie. I don't even feel comfortable, like, I don't even feel that comfortable calling it an original movie. You know what I mean? Because it has so many plot elements ripped from this different movie. And it's like, obviously it's repurposed and they do a lot of original stuff, but it's like, I don't know, it's hard to even call it an original movie.
That's an interesting topic in and of itself. It's like, difference between original versus like innovative, I guess, right?
Obviously, I think there's a lot of innovative elements to that movie, but like, I would have liked to see it more or less go its own way with a lot of, like, that's the thing, I think people, like, this is why I say, like, oh, culture is on the decline overall, just because, like, I don't even think it's that everything has been done. I just think people don't give a shit anymore. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like, it's kind of like we talk about passion with, like, activities and things. Yeah. Like, I don't feel like I see, like,
a lot of passion in anything anymore.
That's why I get so excited when I do. Like, when I see someone who's like, I'm the best, I'm going to be the best ever, and you're all going to remember me, and, like, you can say I'm cocky right now, but, like, 10 years down the line, you're gonna be at my feet, like, singing my praises. Like, I love people like that. Like, our timer just went off, so we're gonna wrap this up. But I do love people like that, and like, I miss Kobe.
I do miss Kobe.
I miss Kobe.
Shout out Kobe.
Shout out Kobe.
Dude, I saw an edit of him and Shaq today.
I saw that you liked that because I saw it. It came up on my feed too, and it was really sad, but it's a whole different point. But thanks y'all. It's our first half. Right now we're going to wrap it up. We're going to be back in just a minute, continuing on this topic of pop culture and how the landscape of the world socially is changing. Appreciate you.
Hell yeah.
All right, welcome back, y'all. We are back for the second half.
We're back.
We got pretty deep in that first half, but we're going to kind of circle back to our original topic.
Superman.
Yes, yeah. G-Man really wants to talk about that, so we're here for it. Let's go. Gus, what are your personal opinions on Superman? Spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert.
If you want to watch this, turn the rest of the episode off right now.
Turn it off. Go do something else.
Like,
go get
subscribe,
a ticket.
Comment, but turn it off.
Go on to 123 Movies and watch the pirated version. Then come back here. I'm putting you on. You're going to have to delete that segment because YouTube... you're gonna have to bleep that out because YouTube because we can't encourage piracy.
Just go to the theaters, watch the movie.
Just go to the theaters completely legally and watch the movie by paying for it. Do your due diligence.
Yeah, support artists.
Support the grind.
Yep.
Dream vision.
Yep. Okay though, G-Man.
Yeah.
Your perspective on this?
It's a fine movie, right? Like you said perspective. Name drop. Sorry, I had to get that in there, but it's a fine movie. But there's a lot of stupid shit in this movie that I don't
bro,
like.
with all due respect, it is a James Gunn film.
I know, but it's like I feel like Guardians of the Galaxy, like OG Guardians of the Galaxy, even Guardians 3 didn't have this like concentration of like dumb shit.
Guardians 3 kind of.
And I'm not talking about Superman fighting like a kaiju, right? That's awesome. I'm not talking about, oh, he has trunks and Guy Gardner has a bowl cut and it's lame. It's not like Zack Snyder. I don't give a shit. I fucking hate all the Zack Snyder movies, right?
Yeah.
When I say dumb shit, I'm more or less talking about like somebody referencing, like there's a one-off line where like one of James Gunn's friends is like referencing a tweet like saying, oh, liberals and conservatives can agree that Lex Luthor is a bad guy. You know, that was a reference to a tweet from 2020, Max.
Really?
That was, and that was in the script.
I didn't know
that was a reference to a tweet from years ago.
Huh.
And James Gunn put it in the movie because he was pissed off because people were actually kind of siding with Lex Luthor because it was on Twitter. Yeah. So obviously people are going to be shitheads and be like, guys, Lex Luthor ain't even a bad guy.
That's funny. That's actually really fucking funny.
I don't think that's funny, dude. The last thing I want to
I mean, not like funny, but like that's kind of like funny to like think about. Like bro was just beefing with that tweet for years.
When they said that,
and then he just like kind of a pretty fuck you.
I also feel like, dude, I like the tone in Guardians 3 because there aren't as many jokes all the time. You know what I mean?
Yeah. There was like some depth. Like we learned a lot about Rocket. Like that was sick as fuck.
It's like
it was kind of dark.
They don't even have jokes. Like they don't have jokes in any of those segments. Obviously, there are funny moments, you know, in the movie. You know, it's a Guardians of the Galaxy movie. There's only like so much like crazy shit that can happen and you can keep a straight face with, you know what I mean?
Right.
Obviously there's a lot of humor injected into that script, but there's a lot of serious moments too. And I really feel like that was definitely like the second best Guardians movie, which might be a hot take, but just because there's less... Yeah. Because easily. I just like that there aren't as many jokes. Like there's so many fucking jokes in this script. And it's not even like, dude... And it's getting to the point where you're referencing a tweet from years ago as a one-off joke. And I'm just like sitting in the theater like, okay, fuck you. You know what the funniest thing was that happened in that movie?
What?
When that one kid, who sounded like the kid from that one Vine where he goes, 21?
Yeah.
When Superman and Lois kiss, he goes, is that Superman? And he just yelled that in the theater. That was so funny.
That was really funny.
Okay,
that was a kid though, just doing that randomly. It wasn't like a part of the movie.
Yeah, it was not a part of the... Some random kid in our theater just yelled that.
As soon as Superman came on screen, is that Superman? That was so funny. You and I trying not to laugh like our fucking asses off was so like that was so funny.
It was at like a more like poignant, impactful moment when Superman and Lois kiss. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it's at the beginning of the movie. It wasn't at the end.
Yeah.
And you know, obviously. It's Clark Kent, not Superman on screen. So the kid's just like, is that Superman?
You know what I thought was funny? Was like all the best shots of the movie they put in the trailer.
Yeah.
If you think about that.
Yeah.
And like maybe I'm just tweaking, but like, you know, I think like a decent amount of the good shots of the movie go into a trailer, but not everything. So there's kind of
they put everything in trailers nowadays. Like you can literally watch. I watched like the Jurassic World Rebirth trailer, right? And I just watched the entire movie in 3 minutes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You can do that with most movies nowadays.
Yeah.
I hate trailers now. You know what I really did like? The 28 Years Later trailers. They gave like barely anything away about the movies, but was just enough to build like tension and hype. And I still got to go see that movie, but...
Yeah. See, that's what I like with my movies. I will say like, you know, I think they were trying to get people hype about Superman because, like, you know, there was such, like, a disappointment.
A drought.
Yeah,
the DC
like,
drought.
They did have to show, like, those, like, really good shots of the movie. Otherwise, like, people would just be like, oh, no, screw this. Like, we're not going to watch it. This is just another DC failure. But I will say, though, like, I get where you're coming from for sure. Like, I didn't feel like there needed to be an element, like, as much joking. But I will say the thing that I liked about James Gunn's take on Superman is that, like, Superman was very hopeful in this movie. Like, I thought he really did a good job of, like, expressing that. And, like, when he shows, like, Superman's personality, like, and I mean, you see this in the trailer, so this isn't a spoiler. Like, when Lois is interviewing him, And she's like, well, did you ask the president of that country if you can go in? Did you ask our president if you could go in? And he goes, people were going to die. Like,
that was actually a really good, serious interaction.
That was because like those parts of the movie were what I really appreciated. And like when he's confronting Lex at the end, and he's like,
he gives he gives his own monologue. You know what I mean?
Yeah, 100%. And he's like, I get scared. I wake up every day not knowing what to do, but I put one foot in front of the other, like, and do my best with it. Like
a lot of the dialogue I did like. There were so many jokes, man.
Like, I do agree.
And it drags down moments like that. Like when Superman's giving that speech and then Krypto just starts tearing apart Lex.
I didn't need that. Like
it sucks the wind out of the script's sails. You know what I mean? Like it doesn't.
I will say though, I think I get why they did that. Because James Gunn was trying so hard to like cope with like a Snyderverse that was just so dark and didn't have like any jokes.
But that's a hopeful moment.
But that's what I mean though. Like that's what I'm saying. Like I think some of the jokes were good in there. You know, I mean, you have to have some kind of breakup every once in a while. But like, there were moments where there was jokes where I was like, you don't need that. Like the comic relief honestly could have just been Jimmy Olsen that entire movie. And that would have been awesome. Like I would have been like, that's like him just being a pimp the whole movie. Yeah. And just like wheeling the hottest girls ever.
Those were the funniest parts of the movie.
100%. Just Jimmy
Olsen pulling the entire movie.
Yeah, and just hating the baddest women you've ever seen in your life. Like just
people who are ready to lay down life and limb for Jimmy Olsen.
Yeah, for Jimmy fucking Olsen. like just like literally the photographer of the Daily Planet. Like no disrespect, but like you know what I mean? Like that's what it should have been like for Superman, not for Jimmy Olsen. But like, it's like I think that was super funny. I think they did a really good job with making that his character because that was hilarious.
I'm not saying, and listen, if you're watching this at home, I'm not saying that the movie is bad. I've said it before on this podcast. It's a fine movie. Yeah. Right? I thought it was, pretty decent. I thought like there's a lot going for this movie. I just don't know if this is the precedent we should set for a new cinematic universe where people are already really sick of like Marvel style jokes. You know what I mean?
I agree. You know what's funny though? Because James Gunn has talked about that. So this is the part that I'm curious about. Because he has a super interesting selection of TV shows and movies that are coming out after this. Mm-hmm. So it's like Supergirl and Lanterns are next summer. So that's like the next step. And then there's Clayface as well. And so he's talked about all those like Supergirl is not going to be like as hopeful. Like this is what he said in his interview. Because like, she was old when Krypton died, you know what I mean? And so like
she's a bit of a darker. She always has been a little bit of a darker character.
Yeah, like still like a hopeful person, but like she wasn't raised by adopted parents that were like super loving and caring. Like her whole experience with life was getting magically to Earth out of nowhere, and like watching her whole planet die in a genocide, basically, and then having to deal with being the strongest woman on the Earth. And have no one to be with. Like, that is super isolating in itself. And like, I'll be interested, and he explained that. He's like, that's what her story will be, like, centered around, and, like, that'll be an entirely different tone from Superman. Like, Lanterns is an entirely different tone. That's Guy Gardner, Hal Jordan, and Jon Stewart. And Jon Stewart's the main focus of that, which I'm pumped. If they get it right, I'm pumped about that, because Jon Stewart is easily my favorite Green Lantern. Like... And they made Hal Jordan a bit older, and I was like, okay, dope. Like, they're going to do this right. Like, that's pimping. Like, thank God.
I think the best Superman adaptation we've had in recent years, which is kind of sad when you look at it, has been the cartoon show, My Adventures with Superman. Yeah. I watched all of that, and it was genuinely, like, the best adaptation I've seen of Superman. And the funny thing is, that still. It's a cartoon, and it has a lot of jokes. It has a lot of lighthearted moments. But there are moments where it's like, in a Marvel movie, it would have, like, a lot more levity than it does in this show. You know what I mean? Yeah. I just want superhero media to take itself somewhat seriously again.
I do, too. I miss that. And that's what originally, with DC, I liked. Because, like, the cartoon shows that we got from DC...
Dude, there are, like, no jokes in Young Justice.
Dude, Young Justice, those guys were so pimping. Nightwing would just hop on a scene and just start beating everybody up. It was just on site all the time. It was awesome.
I watched a bit of season 2 of that show. There aren't, like, a lot of, like, moments of levity. You know what I mean? There's no. And a lot of, even the OG Avengers, it has, like, not as many jokes. It all derives from, like... the whole, like, Joss Whedon idea of, like, script writing where it's like, oh, we need to have jokes every 5 seconds, but like not everyone is Joss Whedon. And not everyone can like work in like clever jokes every 5 seconds in a script and make it work. Avengers works. Buffy the Vampire Slayer works because it's Joss Whedon, right?
Yeah, no.
It's just.
I think the reason why Superman had as many jokes as it did because it's meant to be lighthearted and hopeful, which I'm not saying I fully agree with, because I think the best moments of Superman were when he was hopeful and like speaking really passionately. Like that was the stuff where I was like, yeah.
I just want to. Well,
but like with that though too, like I feel like the best DC we've seen in years was the Batman, because like serious start to finish, you have this grim character whose parents died when he was young, like shot in front of him, like he has no hope. Well, I mean he has hope, but like he's learning that throughout his whole journey. You know what I mean? Like he starts out as like his whole persona is just vengeance. You know what I mean? Like. He wants to take on the streets of Gotham to get revenge for his parents. But in the end, he realizes when he's helping people out of a flood, he's like, I'm more than that. I'm a symbol for hope.
I don't know, man. I just don't like 24/7 jokes in my movie. It sucks the wind out of the sails.
I think for superhero stuff, it's meant to be more serious. I just don't feel like you need it all the time, unless they're like okay, there's a difference though. Like Spider-Man, comically speaking, was always been described as the guy who was just dealing quips out while he's beating up 5 dudes. You know what I mean?
But for Spider-Man, that's a coping mechanism.
Right. That's explained through his story. You know what I mean? And then they show those moments where like. And that's like constantly happening with Spider-Man. You know what I mean? Like that's like such a part of his character. And then you have these ultra serious moments where he's like really breaking down, and you're like, oh shit, like this is entirely
he's me for real.
Like, like this is all trauma based. Like that's a good story arc. Like just like the random jokes kind of dispersed in there. I agree with you on that. I don't feel like it has to be there. But I will say though, like my take overall on Superman was like, I thought it was a really great restart. I think it's a really good first step if they build the other steps correctly. And the thing I like about James Gunn is that he's like, we're not following a formula. Everything is going to be individual to itself. And he was like, and the best example he gave of that in that interview is he goes, look at all those Superman comics. And it was an entirely different array of all these Superman comics. He goes, you see how different every single one of them is? Yeah. And he goes, that's how every DC movie is going to look. And I was like, finally. I was like, finally. Like, if you do this right, someone finally gets superheroes. Like,
I'm excited for that. I hope that,
I hope he does it well. I'm not saying, like, I'm sold, but, like, that's a great start. Like, having someone just say that, I'm like, okay, they get it.
I'm glad the DC universe is finally off the ground.
Yeah, thank God. It's been so long.
I mean, Max, I was like 10 years old when Man of Steel released. I was 10 years old when I saw that movie.
Yeah,
right?
Was it the same year as Avengers?
No, Avengers was before Man
That's
of
what
Steel.
I thought. Okay, yeah, I couldn't remember.
And I was like, this kind of sucks. I watched it once and was just bored. I couldn't follow what was happening. Obviously 10-year-old me isn't going to get it. You know what I mean? Oh, man. You know what was the perfect comic book movie? The first Spider-Man movie.
That movie was so good, yeah.
Spider-Man 1 and 2, arguably the peak of comic book movies.
100%. So accurate. Like, followed, like, Toby. Like, yeah, it was perfect. Yeah. No, those
all I feel like that movie would need, not obviously, like, I don't want Wolverine to show up in those movies or anything like that, but
100%.
maybe hints at a larger Marvel universe.
Yeah, for sure.
Would have been cool. Just to kind of flesh out the universe a bit more.
But
like,
it's so nice, though, just seeing Spider-Man, like, do his thing, and, like...
And that's more of a cool idea. I'm not knocking those films for not
and
having
all the
that.
casting was so good. Like, you got guys who were really invested in those characters. Like, it was dope. I always say this about Henry Cavill, like, what a waste of such a perfect casting moment.
Yeah.
Like, because it's not his fault.
He just needed a better script.
100%, because he was so ready to deliver. Like, I mean, just look at the shape he got in for that. Like, people walk around and they're like, yo, that is actually Superman. Like, when he was cast, I remember people being like, I don't think there's ever been a more, like, perfect Superman.
I'm going to be honest, right? I think he's the perfect Superman, right? He was born to play that role. It was
100%.
But it was right person, wrong time, right?
I 100%. I think if he was cast in this movie, it would have been peak.
I think David Cornsweet, right?
Yeah.
I've seen pictures of him and the shape he got him at the gym, right?
Right.
Guy's definitely on steroids, but holy shit, I think he might have gotten in just like a little bit better shape than Henry Cavill.
You know, that's so funny you say that because like I don't know. It's so funny because I have been looking at that because I'm like, you know, I see all the pics of like his arm pump.
Yeah.
When he's doing like a dumbbell
I
curl.
mean,
and,
arguably
like,
his arms are way bigger than Henry Cavill's were at the time. You know what I mean?
I don't know. That's a
No. Because I've seen pictures of him flexing, and it's like,
but
bro,
Superman.
He's
but
Superman.
Superman's back though, like Cavill's back.
This is true.
Like that's Superman, like
Yeah.
carrying the world on his shoulders, and he's just got like a V taper.
Yeah.
The most burly V taper ever. It's like, all right, come on. It's like, come on, guys. Like, what are we doing here? Like, no, I mean, I do agree with you. I think Cavill was born to play that role. I think it was the wrong time, unfortunately, which is super sad because, like, damn, man, he was so meant for that. Like, you know what I mean? It would have been sick if they gave him, like, a chance to do it right. Well, I'm not knocking David Corn Sweat. Like, he really did a great job. He
was Superman.
He was Superman.
Undoubtedly, David Corn. That was the biggest concern for, like, every fan was, like,
can he be
Super? And
he was. And
it was the right cast.
No.
When he said Dolly in, like, the first line of the movie, I was like,
yeah.
And
I will say,
Superman.
I can never picture Cavill saying that.
Yeah.
Like, if I saw Cavill saying golly, that might take me out of it.
Yeah. He's just, like, I don't know.
No, it was just, yeah.
Listen, I hate David Corn Sweat as Superman. My Superman lets a courtroom full of people die for a fit pick, okay? He aura farms.
Dude, yeah.
He doesn't
Parents
save
were
people.
farmers, so he became an aura farmer. Like, seriously. Oh, my God. But
listen, even everybody in Zack Snyder movies are constantly aura farming, and it's kind of annoying to a certain point.
Yeah, they're just Superman.
Dude, even his dad is about to die to a tornado. Superman's about to help him, but he's like, stop.
Yeah, the dad's like, the dad hit the Paul George, and he's like,
stop. Don't. He's like, don't save me from a fucking tornado.
Yeah, that he has the absolute power to do. Like, he could have saved his dad
His
so
dad
easily.
was aura farming so hard that he died to a tornado.
Yeah, bro will wrap a truck around a telephone pole. But
that was the least Superman thing I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, 100. That's what I'm saying. Like that. Like Henry Cavill, right person, wrong timing. Because like, no, he would not have done that to a random trucker. He would have intervened him and like, don't speak to her that way.
People
like
always,
that would have been Superman.
People always forget that like the last half of Man of Steel is a Dragon Ball fight scene where they don't go to an empty place and let millions of civilians die.
That's what I'm saying. It's not Superman. Like Superman, like in this movie, he saved a squirrel.
I know. Like that's a good moment. I like shit like that.
Yeah,
like,
I did too.
That's definitely like James Gunn understands the character. I think the biggest flaw of this movie are honestly the James Gunn isms. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but like the thing I appreciate about this movie the most is like James Gunn understands Superman to his core. Like, say what you want about the actual movie itself, that motherfucker got Superman. Like, he understood what that character meant, the symbol that he represents to everyone, and like how loved he is. You know what I mean?
It's honestly, I kind of think it was a miracle that the movie wasn't terrible. If I'm being honest.
Why do you say that?
It has James Gunn, I feel like, is really good at balancing. I mean, if you've ever seen James Gunn's like one of his first like big screenplays, it was the 2004 remake of Dawn of the Dead. If I were to describe that movie to you, you'd be like, this movie sounds all over the place and crazy and like it wouldn't make sense at all and like too many things are happening. But what James Gunn is really good at doing is taking a lot of ideas and just putting them into one script and having it all like be cohesive at the end. You know what I mean?
I don't get that because like I didn't understand how he added Guy Gardner, Green Lantern, Mr. Terrific, and Hawkgirl, and Metamorpho. Like, no disrespect, Mr. Terrific in that movie, awesome.
Yeah.
The like low key like.
And then we care about them by the end.
100%. Like most
obviously, I think
before...
Guy Gardner and Metamorpho and Mr. Terrific sold the show. I wasn't completely sold on Hawkgirl by the end.
I think a lot of the internet would disagree with you though.
Really?
Like when she dropped the president.
If you aren't used to James Gunn movies, this movie's gonna feel all over the place. Like I'm not gonna lie.
Sure.
Like if you've never seen it, I'm glad though. You know what? To tie it back into an earlier topic. I am glad that Gen Alpha has something now to look forward to. I'm glad that they're gonna have some, even if I don't think.
Because we were like peak Marvel, you know.
Yeah, we grew up. We were like, I was 8 when I saw the first Avengers movie.
I remember that. Yeah, because I was 10.
Yeah, because we went to the theater, and we were supposed to watch like a stop motion movie about pirates.
We did not do that.
We did not. Bumpy, Our
Bumping.
grandpa took us to see the Avengers instead.
He goes, boys, this sounds awful. I'm not going to do this. Do you want to go watch the Avengers movies? We said, absolutely. We didn't want to watch this anyways. We've been wanting to watch Avengers this whole time, but our mom told us no. Can you please take us? He goes, will you tell your mom? No.
Mom knew.
Okay.
Mom knew right after.
Mom knew right away. What movie did you guys go watch?
We had forgotten the name of the movie we were going to go watch.
We were supposed to cover
the movie, the stop motion movie actually that we were going to go watch is it's kind of a forgotten gem.
Yeah, that is actually a decent movie, but we're talking about
we're talking about the Avengers.
Come on,
man. It was fire.
Yeah.
No, my favorite part, dude. I was so scared during the Hulk scene in that movie.
I remember you and I both jumped in our chair. Like you and I actually physically jumped.
Our little bodies were not meant to feel the vibrations from Hulk smashing shit.
Yeah, but you know what? Overall though, I wasn't scared. I was like, this
was the only scary moment.
Yeah, that was the only part where I was like, oh my god.
It was Black Widow.
Black Widow running for her life as the Hulk is breaking everything in sight, and he's just got this face that looks like he's about to eat her. And I was like, you and I are sitting there like this.
Dude, I'm sad that Marvel will die before we can get a Wolverine, Spider-Man, and Hulk movie. That will never happen. There will never be a good Fantastic Four movie. When it comes out, if you see it, comment down below what you think about it, but there will never be a good Fantastic Four movie. It's never going to happen. I saw plot leaks for this new movie. If any of you guys are saying it's good, you're fucking lying through your teeth.
I already know Superman is better than Fantastic Four. I will put everything on my life.
Well, because Marvel has been on a perpetual downfall for the last
They have individual projects that do decent.
This is my hot take. Endgame is a satisfying conclusion to the series. As a movie, it's way too all over the place. A lot of plot threads just don't make sense at all.
You just have to watch the entirety.
The most hype moment of that movie is literally a Deus Ex Machina where everybody comes out to save Captain America at the end.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's a lot of BS in that movie.
Man, that was so sick when Cap's out there by himself.
And
the whole Chitauri is coming for him, and he's just bring it on. And he's got Thor's hammer. It's so fire.
It's a very satisfying conclusion, but
as a standalone movie,
it kind of blows. I think that was the writing on the wall for Marvel. That's where they should have
I liked Infinity War more than I liked Endgame.
Yeah, because Infinity War was way better written.
100%. But that's not the point. But Superman, though, overall, I really like the cinematography of that movie. There were some shots where obviously I wasn't a fan of.
Yeah.
But man, the whole scene where he comes out of the smoke of the all the debris
after saving that one person.
That one
it's such a Superman thing to do.
It's
and he does that the entire movie.
He would go out of his way just to save one person.
If you want to see
a
true Superman movie, I think this is the one.
I 100% agree.
I think this is probably the closest we're gonna get to a comic accurate Superman.
I think it is comic accurate.
Yeah.
I'm not even gonna lie. It's comic accurate.
It's based off of they based a lot of it off of All-Star Superman, and if you've ever read that comic, you can definitely see
that is a banger comic.
Great comic.
Yeah, no, one of the best.
Mm-hmm.
But I thought making him so centered around hope and really saving people, and showing that he takes the time to save everyone he absolutely can, and he it mentions himself, but he's not perfect, but man, will he do everything in his power to be, you know what I mean, to do the absolute right thing, unquestionably he is just good. But I liked it for that.
It was my final rating, if I were to give an arbitrary score to this movie, because it is I don't like summing up movies and media with just 3 out of 5, 4 out of 5, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I would give it probably light 3 out of 5.
Yeah, I'd probably give it a 3.5, 4 out of 5.
Okay.
That's probably what I would give it. Just because of some of the shots. But yeah, ladies and gentlemen, this is us for the day. Thank you all for joining. We appreciate it a ton. We'll be back soon with episode 16. Like, subscribe, and comment. Everything below. Talk about us with your friends. Comment anything that you want. If you disagree with all of our takes, we'd love to hear it.
Make sure you clip us and be like, these guys are bozos. These guys are idiots.
Yes.
Oh, their podcast is the Perplexing Perspective podcast. Yeah, go make fun of these losers.
Yeah, please.
We need more engagement.
Yeah.
We need this.
If we're getting made fun of, that's okay with me.
This is
It's
true.
chill.
Oh yeah.
It's chill. I need this character growth. But yeah, thanks you guys. Appreciate it a ton. Appreciate you, brother.
Appreciate you too, bro.
Mr. Producer, aka Mr. Host.
Ow! Da-na-na.